Hey YouTube, it's Cassie Haney, okay with RA, and today I'm going to make a video about dairy, the dreaded dairy. And I think that this is an important topic because if you have RA or if you have autoimmune disease of any kind, I hate to break it to you, but the fact of the matter is dairy is just really, it's not our friend. For those of us who suffer from rheumatoid arthritis or other autoimmune diseases, dairy is really our, I always like to say it's our frenemy, because dairy is one of the most destructive things you can put in your body, and it's probably a trigger for your immune system. It's probably getting into your bloodstream from your leaky gut, and it's probably causing you all kinds of trouble in your body. So today I'm going to tell you why I don't eat dairy, and how I came to the understanding that it was something I shouldn't be eating, and what happened whenever I cut it out of my diet. So let me start off, and I'll just tell you, when I very first was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, I did not think I had a problem with dairy at all. In fact, I thought that I needed dairy, that dairy was good for me, and that I should be eating it. I thought that it was a positive thing for my body. And I had cut out gluten for a while, and I knew that gluten really helped me a lot when I cut out gluten. And I tried to eat fewer processed foods, even though I really was eating still a whole lot of processed foods at that time. And I was trying to eat more healthy foods, I tried to eat more vegetables, and so I would eat a lot of canned vegetables, and that is not even close to what you have to do to be able to really improve your health. I mean, you need to eat a lot more than just, you know, half of a can of a vegetable, like what I was doing at that time. So I remember whenever I thought maybe I really should cut out dairy, and I really eliminated it hardcore all the way front to back, and I really started paying attention to the ingredient labels and reading those labels and seeing if there was any milk product at all, and if it was listed that, you know, this food came from a factory that also deals with dairy, and I would say, nope, I'm not going to eat that. I can't do it, can't digest it. It was profound. It made a profound difference in the way that I felt. My inflammation went way down, and it was a huge trigger for my immune system that I did not think was me. In fact, I remember one day, I think this is what happened. I was watching a YouTube video, and this girl was saying, like, I don't have RA. I thought I had RA, but I don't have RA. It was just the dairy. She said, I gave up the dairy and my RA is gone. I didn't have RA at all. I just had a problem with dairy. And I thought, well, maybe that's me. Maybe if I give up dairy, then all my symptoms will go away. And unfortunately, and I wish that was me, but unfortunately that was not the case for me. Even though I've given up gluten and dairy and processed foods and a lot of other foods that I know are triggers for me. When I gave up dairy, it did improve my symptoms so much. However, I still do have kind of what I'll call like low-grade RA. For me, I don't know if I'm a person who can ever just completely get rid of RA as if like I never had it. But I know that I can decrease my symptoms and make them smaller, and not eating dairy is a huge cornerstone piece of me being able to function medication-free with rheumatoid arthritis. So there are a lot of reasons that I don't eat dairy. In fact, like 75% of the population cannot digest it. And so that alone is huge. And you probably know if you have a problem with dairy, because if you were to drink, like, if you were to go to the store tonight and get like a whole, you know, vitamin D, whole fat milk, and just drink like 2 big glasses of milk and have some ice cream, see how you feel. If you get bloated, abdominal discomfort, if you get constipated, if you have any issue like that, you really shouldn't be eating any dairy at all. And what happens is, whenever you have rheumatoid arthritis or really any autoimmune disease, that always starts in the gut, and it starts with leaky gut. So in your intestines, you've got this tiny little cell wall that's only 1 cell thick, and it lines your intestines, and it's the job of that wall is to keep undigested food particles in your intestines, and to only allow digested particles like nutrients through. But whenever you get gaping holes in your cell wall, then these big undigested food particles, or only partially digested food particles, go straight through the wall. They go straight through the wall into your bloodstream, and your immune system is like, stop, that's not okay, that's not right, that's not good. And it starts to be on the defense. Well, there's this shift that can happen. And I think that this is the start of autoimmune disease. And it's the shift between being on the offense, where you're just reacting to these undigested food particles, to where you just become bombarded and overwhelmed with them. And now you're being on the defense. And then once you get too overwhelmed, your body switches over to an offensive game. And it starts hunting down and seeking out these undigested proteins. Well, if dairy is a protein that looks, there's casein, and it's similar in size and shape and structure to some of our own flesh and blood, our own molecules that are in our own bodies. So if our immune system targets dairy and scans it and gets the structure of dairy and identifies dairy as a problem molecule, and then your immune system goes over your whole body looking for that molecule, trying to find it and destroy it, and it finds a lot of your own tissues that are similar in size, shape, and structure to that dairy molecule, and it starts attacking it, then that's autoimmune disease right there. And so dairy, not only does it just upset your immune system and tear holes in your cell wall, and then go into your bloodstream, and then cause your immune system to freak out and start going after it, and then it looks it's so close to what we are, that your immune system gets discombobulated and starts attacking our own joints. Like, that's a huge problem. But it's not the only problem with dairy. Another big problem with dairy is, and it's similar, but it's not the same. And that is that dairy is a microbiome suppressor. It suppresses your microbiome's ability to flourish and be diverse and to be strong and be healthy. Number one, it's full of sugar. Number two, it's just inflammatory in nature. Number three, there's usually a ton of antibiotics in dairy, which go in and just kill off, your microbiome. And it's just like full of toxins and all kinds of problems that make it really hard for you to have a healthy, diverse, flourishing, functioning, wonderfully delicious microbiome. And that microbiome is the key to recovering from autoimmune disease or rheumatoid arthritis. You have got to seal that leaky gut and then grow a really healthy, diverse microbiome that can help you chop up and digest food, so that big chunks of partially digested food particles don't end up in your bloodstream. Another issue with dairy is it's really closely associated to cancer. And I know that this is a station for autoimmune disease, and I have rheumatoid arthritis and I don't have cancer, but I cannot not say these next 2 points, because they just kind of show how dangerous dairy really can be for the human body. So one thing that dairy does is it is a precursor to cancer. And the reason it's a precursor to cancer is because of this little hormone called IGF-1. And IGF-1 is a hormone that stimulates the growth of capillaries. Capillaries in your body, capillaries are like this fishnet that go between your veins and your arteries. So your arteries are full of oxygenated blood and they flow away from your heart. And your veins are full of unoxygenated blood and they flow towards your lungs. So you have oxygenated blood pumping out of your arteries, and then it kind of washes across this fishnet, which is it's kind of like the beach, right where the sand meets the ocean. And you've got this kind of like washing over of water and sand, and it's kind of ebbing and flowing. In your capillary beds, you've got this transitional space where blood is flowing from one side to the other side, and there's this loss of nutrients and oxygen. So as it kind of passes across your capillaries, nutrients and oxygen are leaving your capillary bed, and then once the nutrients and oxygen are out of your blood, it goes over to the venous side, the veins, and it goes back up to get reloaded on nutrients and oxygen from your heart and your lungs, and then it gets shipped back out. Well, those capillary beds are amazing, and you need them, and you should have them, because they are like the body's way of distributing the nutrients that we eat. You know, we eat nutrients, it goes into our bloodstream, and then it gets dispersed throughout our body. But too many capillary beds, if you're capillary rich, if you have way too many capillary beds, then you're at a high risk for cancer. Capillary growth is step one of cancer. So you're precancerous if you have too many capillary beds. And the reason is because cancer is such a voracious, hungry growth that it needs a ton of blood to feed it. And so once you have like these capillary beds in place, you have set the scene and set the stage for cancer growth. So by just not eating dairy, you basically make your body not precancerous. It doesn't want cancer. It's not a good place for cancer to be. Cancer doesn't want to grow there. There's not enough blood flow for it to be able to take off the way that it has to take off. And so to me, that's important for you to know. Like, for me to make a video on dairy and not say that, I just feel like that's not right. And the other thing that I'll tell you about dairy and cancer is this. There are 3 cancers that I know of that have a closer association than the association between lung cancer and smoking. So this association between lung cancer and smoking is strong. Nobody questions it. We know how tight it is, okay? But it's only like this strong. The association between dairy and these 3 cancers, one of which is lung cancer, between lung cancer, prostate cancer, and breast cancer, is even closer than the association between lung cancer and smoking. So it's a very cancer-friendly food, dairy. So I'm gonna end with this little story, and it's so sad. It's just like the saddest story ever. And this was about like 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I was married at the time, and I knew that I probably shouldn't be eating milk, but I didn't realize that I couldn't eat any kind of milk. I thought it was just cow milk. I thought, oh, I'm allergic to cow milk, but I didn't know that I was also like intolerant to goat milk, sheep milk, you know, any milk of any kind, that I would get the same reaction. And we were out of town, and my ex-husband was in this store, and it was a health food store, and this store had all kinds of fancy organic products and produce, and there was a cheese section, and they had all different kinds of cheese. So they had the goat cheese and the sheep cheese and the blah 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 blah. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna get some goat cheese because I bet Cassie can eat this because it's not from cow's milk, and she probably won't have a problem with it. Long story short, he got this circle of cheese. I cut it in half and I chopped it up, and I ended up eating a whole half of this round block of cheese. And I was so inflamed and so sick and in so much pain. I instantly was just sick with rheumatoid arthritis, like beyond sick with rheumatoid arthritis. So I remember I thought, I just feel so bad. What am I gonna do? It's gonna take forever for this stuff to get out of my body, and I just don't know how to get through the next like 2 or 3 days. So I decided to just go and get in the bath, and I was so sick I could hardly take a step, I could hardly walk, but I got myself into the hot bath, put some salt in there, and started to soak. And I mean, I don't know that it really made me feel that much better. And I ended up draining the water, and when I was ready to get out of the bath, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out of the bath. Everything hurt way too bad, and the pain was so bad I was stuck in the bath. And I remember my ex-husband had to just kind of pick me up and just flop me out of the tub because my joints were so weak, they were so hurt, they were in so much pain. And so that's my 2 cents on dairy. If you have RA, drop the dairy. I don't care if you think if you have a problem with it or not. If you have autoimmune disease, it is not your friend. It's your frenemy. Don't eat it. Stay away from it. And thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.